Welcome back to Divided We Stand. I'm Victoria Lang here with Joe Aguirre. So this week was our first week with Mr. Joe Biden as president, and I'm really excited because now we can get back to this show being what it was originally supposed to be and not just like a huge Joe Biden endorsement, because that's really not what we're about up in here, and I'm sure we'll get further into that in this episode. We acknowledge that the world is not going to be perfect in rainbows and everything is just going to be equal and awesome now. We know that there's still a lot of work to do.
Problems are not all solved because Joe Biden's in office, and we're very aware of that. But and we got a lot of stuff to talk about. There's already a bunch of nonsense floating around, and I'm hoping by the end of this evening to be able to clear some of that up for people, because that's the last thing we need right now is more bull crap. You know what I mean?
So our first dose of that, we have a quote from Miss Megyn Kelly stating that the media is mostly to blame for these riots, not Trump. This is not Trump's fault. So she says they hated him so much. They checked their objectivity. She says it wasn't CNN. All of them did it. They couldn't check their own personal feelings about him. Part of the reason we saw what happened at the Capitol here 2 weeks ago is because there's been a complete lack of trust, a destruction of trust in the media, and people don't know where to turn for information. And I can't say that I don't completely disagree. I mean, I definitely see where she's coming from, but I'm not sure if that's the reason why.
I think anybody who blames anybody but Donald Trump is just desperately trying to deflect from reality. And I understand what Megyn Kelly's saying. I mean, look, the media wasn't fair to Donald Trump, but as I've explained to a million people who were like, "Oh, they're serving up softballs to Joe Biden." Joe Biden didn't come down an escalator talking about Mexicans being rapists and murderers. So Joe Biden comes from a place where he's already got some credibility. He came out of the gate again saying, "I want to be the president for everybody, no more red and blue states." And I've run into, Victoria, where I've talked to conservatives that are like, I didn't listen to his speech, but I heard what he said. I mean, why? Who told you what Joe? Why didn't you just listen to it?
Yeah.
Why not just hear what the actual message is? I was joking. I don't know if you heard, but Conor McGregor got knocked out, Victoria.
Oh, I did hear.
And everybody was shocked because ESPN's been saying for like 2 months that Conor McGregor was going to knock out Dustin Poirier.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you're an actual fight fan, as I am, I do a show, Throwing Jabs, Saturdays at 10. Dustin Poirier's been fighting the best in the world for the last 6 years, while Conor McGregor has fought 4 times.
Mm-hmm.
2 of those being losses. What made anybody think he was just going to show up and win? But people bought the hype of ESPN. It's Conor McGregor. Everybody knows Conor McGregor. He's a big star. But it's another case of people just hearing something and, yeah, Conor McGregor.
Mm-hmm.
Listen to what Joe Biden has to say. If you're going to do your own research, the beginning of the research should literally be you listening to what the person said. I've said this a million times, Victoria. Listen to a speech from Bernie or AOC or Joe Biden, and then come talk to me and tell me what you hated about what they said.
Right.
Because I'm sure you either didn't understand it properly or you're like really anti-middle class. And I don't understand why anybody would be. Obviously, Joe Biden on day one, Victoria, you may have heard, eliminated 11,000 jobs.
I did not hear that.
Well, he's stopping the Keystone Pipeline.
I'm not even familiar with what that is. If I'm
you remember Standing Rock? Remember when everybody was checking in to help the Indian reservation a couple of years ago?
Yeah.
It's that the Trump administration gave companies the permission to plow through sacred Indian land, and there was an emergency injunction. It never broke ground.
Yeah.
It doesn't exist. And I've heard people say this is the stupidity that we're dealing with from
you got me
regular everyday conservatives who have no stake in the drilling game, in the oil game, that have said to me, hey, look, I like paying $2.50 a gallon. The Keystone Pipeline is not built. You're not paying $2.50 a gallon because of the Keystone Pipeline. I'll explain a little bit later on why you are. Let's get back to Megyn Kelly and this stupidity for a minute. The same person who insisted Santa Claus was a white person. I mean, Megyn Kelly just says stuff because she just likes to say stuff.
She just likes to hear her own voice.
To the degree
much
that,
like me, but
right. Look, to the degree that, I mean, most reasonable, logical, intelligent people, including many in the Republican Party, think Trump's an absolute moron. And there's a reason for that. And there's a reason Mitch McConnell and most of the top-ranking Republicans have all blamed Donald Trump for inciting the Capitol riot. So for Megyn Kelly, like 2 weeks later, to go on the BBC, the only place that'll give this woman any airtime, she's lost credibility on the left and the right. And here she is running her mouth about something that she clearly knows nothing about.
Sounds familiar. Maybe that's why she's not opposed to him.
Yeah.
Anyways, so right now we're also getting into Trump's second impeachment trial. I'm not sure exactly how far along they are in this process, but don't you think that we have some bigger issues at hand? Also, I just wanted to talk about what would even happen if Trump were to be impeached? What would be the consequences for him? And would it even be worth it? Why are we spending our time on this? Questions I have.
Yeah, you know, it's funny, Victoria. I think a week ago, I would have said, yeah, I think you got to do this. But you're right. We do have more important things to worry about. But more importantly, once Donald Trump is no longer a sitting president, he's got a whole bunch of stuff that he'll be facing.
Yeah.
Including the Trump organization and the Trump charity that pilfers from it, or it gets pilfered from, in the Southern District of New York. You've also got the Michael Cohen case. You've got the call to the Secretary of State of Georgia. There's a lot of things that Donald Trump will have to face, and it won't be that he won't, I mean, because best case scenario is you could impeach him. You could hope 17 senators join you. Mm-hmm. That's what it would take to convict Donald Trump in a impeachment trial. I don't think that they have 17, and I don't know that it's good for the country. And the worst part could be if Donald Trump doesn't get convicted, then you've got a second impeachment for which he was acquitted. You're just asking this guy to fundraise even more money than what he got on the fraud claims after the election. He's making a strong push for 2024, and an impeachment trial actually almost helps him in many ways. They're not going to get what they're looking for, which is, now that he's out of office, the idea that they could prevent him from ever holding office again. I think you're better off allowing law enforcement. And again, now it's in the hands of legit people, which is a horribly sad thing to have to admit. But, William Barr and some of these Republican operatives that were serving in pretty high, it's not good. It's not a good look for this country. It's not a good look for the Republicans. But if Donald Trump did stuff wrong, he's in trouble. And if he didn't, then, again, evidence will bear out. That's basically what always happens, is evidence bears out. Our good friends from the new show, Speaking It Real, I believe this is Frank. I'm tired of talking about this ass clown. The more we talk about it, the more fuel we'll have for later use. No, the problem is right now there's just not a whole bunch to point out about Joe Biden. He hasn't done anything wrong.
Right. Except for where's my stimulus check? That's a question for the people. If anybody knows how I can get my stimulus check, please let me know. Let me know.
So once again, you've got a situation where the Republicans have been offered an opportunity to share government. Chuck Schumer offered the Republicans the chance to, generally when you're the majority party, you get 10-9 on committees. And so you could push anything you want through, and even a Supreme Court justice these days on a 10-9 committee vote, and you could force it out on the floor for a full vote. That would bog things down with the Democratic agenda. So in fairness, Chuck Schumer said, look, it's a close election. They want us to do our jobs. We'll go 9-9 on committees. Mm-hmm. So the only way something's going to get out of committee and get on the floor is if it's got bipartisan support. You'll need at least one person from the other party to vote along with you if you want to get something passed out of committee to a full hearing on the Senate floor. What a great opportunity for the Republicans. Again, a chance to be like the heroes. You come out of the Trump era, you're going to share power with the Democrats in the legislative branch. Yay. The only thing Chuck Schumer said was no filibuster. We're not gonna play games. We're gonna go and we're gonna be serious about this. McConnell said, forget it.
I'm also sitting here thinking, doesn't this just distract, especially in the chances of, I feel like it is more than a 50-50 chance that this is not going to go through, and it's kind of just going to be embarrassing for us again. I just feel like this is going to distract from everything, and I feel like it's just going to give them another reason to be like, haha, we're right, and you try to do something, and you can't do anything about it again. And I don't even know. I just feel like it's just going to take even longer for him to get into jail, because I think we all know there's evidence at this point for him to get locked up for something. My question is, number one, is he going to be able to pay his way out? Is that going to be an option for him?
Well, with negative $400 million in the bank, that's going to be hard to do. And again, look, here's another one of those idiotic Republican things I've been hearing lately. Oh, how did Obama and Clinton and Biden get so rich being public servants? I like to hear that. Book deals. I know you guys don't read books. By and large, to be fair, you don't read books. They get book deals to write about their time in office. That's where the money is from.
Yeah.
You can look it up. Literally, you can look it up. Joe Biden was poor, then he became vice president, then he got a book deal. Goes on speaking tours. He makes like $1 million a speech. That's how he got rich. I mean, plain and simple. You could either get a loan from your dad and bankrupt 5 companies and make your fortune that way still somehow. Or you can be you can serve your country and then eventually write a book about it. I mean, again, these are things that people can be looking up on their own. I shouldn't have to explain stuff like this, but I feel like I'm on Facebook and Twitter and I'm constantly explaining this stuff to people. I actually won an argument on Facebook the other day, Victoria. The most amazing thing in the world happened. As a matter of fact, it happened on the Facebook page of our friends at Speaking It Real. Somebody chimed in about something that wasn't true. It was something that was very cherry picked. And I called the guy out on it. I was like, you just don't like Joe Biden. That's not even a thing. And to his credit, the guy was like, you're right. I don't like Biden. He's a communist. He's in the pocket of China and big tech, whatever that means. You would think it would be the opposite, that they would be in his pocket, but I guess that's not how blackmail works or whatever they're talking about.
No, you got it wrong.
Yeah. I mean, again, we're just like redefining like the FBI. Oh, that's the bad guys. What? Wait, what are you talking about? I don't think so. So in this alternate reality, this guy basically admitted, Victoria, that he didn't really have an argument. He was grasping at straws.
Well,
and I honestly appreciated the guy's effort. And then I went on my Facebook page and bragged about it. Because that's how this world works. I'm tired of people saying, like people like Megyn Kelly saying, or giving people the excuse of, well, people don't know where to get the true information anymore. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Again, if you're reading something and the claims in the article seem extraordinary, you're like, wait, the Democrats are child-eating pedophiles leading a ring? I mean, do people really think that people like
Yes.
Victoria would vote for that? Or that I would buck my own party to vote for a pedophile
Well, they
cabal? I
think that
mean,
we just don't know, and they're
that's what I'm
woke.
talking about. Like,
Like, they have their third
Trump
eye open and are woke.
syndrome. I mean, you want to talk about the biggest joke of all, Trump deranged syndrome. Could it be believing a guy that's got 30,000 documented lie? Could that be the derangement syndrome you're speaking of, people?
It's not lies to them. Like, everything that it's
Correct.
fake news.
It's a
fake
whole
news.
other alternate reality to fit your worldview. That's not how facts and information work. So you could snap back to reality. You can deal with facts.
You could.
Again, I think if the Democrats are smart, I think we just kick Trump to the side and we move on. There's no reason for an impeachment. You're right, Victoria. He's got so many other issues.
People are going to stop talking about it if we have another impeachment trial, especially if it goes down the shit, or like, you know what I mean? It's just going to be another.
There's 20 rape allegations.
Oh yeah, yeah. Let's not forget about that. A lot of people, that's their biggest thing against Joe Biden, is that he's a predator. But let's talk about this for a second. I never hear about the rape allegations towards Donald Trump. What about that? And also people on his team, everybody on his team.
There's a lot of them. I mean, it's not good. It's not good at all. Again, if the argument too that I'm given, generally speaking, when I bring up the rape allegations, is that Joe Biden sniffs people.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand that nuzzling people is weird. I have a dad who's a similar age to Joe Biden, and my dad is a nuzzler. My dad will come up behind you and he will nuzzle his face into your neck.
We all think he's weird AF too. But
I wish my dad didn't do that. My dad's not a weird pedophile. Trust me.
Thank God your dad's not running for president.
Victoria, it's just something from that generation. You know, they rub your shoulders. There you go, kiddo.
Yeah.
If you think that's what a pedophile is, dude, I mean, go talk to your shrink. And by the way, to me, listen, if you're obsessed with missing children and pedophilia, there's a good chance somebody touched you when you were little. And that you're raging out because for some reason you're really fired up about child abuse. I'm serious when I say that. I notice people that are like vehemently opposed to abortion have generally had an abortion.
Or have had somebody in their lives who have had experiences
with doing it, and they want everyone else to feel whatever they feel. I'm sorry, you don't get to punish society for your sins. And by the way, there are no sins. That's the cool part. If people could just understand. Would you have your child babysat by Casey Anthony? Yes, I did drop that line in the comments to our buddy Carlos the other night when he was defending Trump in all of his criminal behavior. He gave me the example, OJ is innocent, Casey Anthony is innocent. And I said, would you let Casey Anthony babysit your kid? And
Casey Anthony, like, I could see where he was, like, the OJ thing is like, okay.
Lives in Florida, so Casey Anthony's a viable babysitting option for him as she walks the street.
She's on care.com.
Right.
Yeah.
Do people feel good about her walking the streets at night?
Not me.
I mean, to me, look, if you're willing to murder your
maybe
kid,
in Florida,
I'm pretty sure you would murder anybody else if the opportunity presented itself. And speaking of murder, another reason not to do impeachment, Victoria, this is insane. There are people who are planning to murder members of Congress if they impeach Trump. So let's be clear about this. Donald Trump is out of office.
Mm-hmm. No longer.
Out by a whopping 7 million votes.
Yep.
He's been impeached, which is humiliating, twice impeached.
Embarrassing.
Do you really feel like you would put your life on the line? I mean, I'm talking to the most ardent Trump supporter right now.
Mm-hmm.
Would you put yourself on the line to make sure that they don't impeach this super fat old guy who's probably going to die soon if he doesn't go to prison?
He drinks a lot of Diet Coke.
Does that make any sense that you would risk your life and your freedom? Because if you somehow aren't killed in the attack, you're going to prison forever.
Yeah.
I mean, here's what I'd like to see just between you and I. I would like to see them bring back people walking the plank for treason. I think that take them out on a ship. You've seen it in the cart, like on Peter Pan.
Yeah,
put the board out, walk the plank, bro. Come on now. I think that would discourage this kind of insane behavior. 10 years in jail? No.
Walk the plank, bitch.
Walker. That's what you're doing. Matter of fact, we're going to take you to the middle of the Persian Gulf. So if by some chance you do happen to survive, you're going to end up in very hostile waters.
Yeah, we drop you all off in Venezuela.
Hey. But yeah, this should be scary to people. And again, I hear people defending it. I hear Republican legislators who are literally defending the idea that there is credible talk about attacking the Capitol again.
Again, part 2.
If Trump has
feature.
an impeachment trial.
Mm-hmm. People are like,
where are we as a country right now? Yikes.
I mean, am I surprised? Absolutely not. I mean, is it concerning? Absolutely. I'm so happy that we at least got through Inauguration Day. You know, Joe Biden is safely in office. He's vibing. He even changed the painting on the wall. No problem. Love that. I don't know if you also heard he removed the Diet Coke button from his desk that was super glued on there. So I'm really happy that things are going smoothly so far, because I was really kind of in a panic, especially because I know we talked about it maybe like last week or a couple weeks ago, but everybody was bringing up this conspiracy theory like, oh, look at this. The Simpsons are right. And they have this date in a Treehouse of Horror episode. And like, look at this one of Trump walking through a mall. And then they did it again. And then this is Michelle Obama in pearls. And then it's just like a whole big thing that kind of had me going. I'm not gonna lie. So I'm happy that we at least got through that. So I'm just praying that we keep that same energy for February 8th. I'm hoping that this is all talk. But once again, it is scary because we have seen it unfold in all possibility.
You know, on the case of The Simpsons, think about how many things they predicted on that show since 1988.
At this point, I'm thinking that people are low-key just picking out stuff like, I'm going to wear that.
Yes. I mean, Victoria, they've done, I mean, it's been 30 years of 25, 30 episodes a year.
Yeah.
That's a lot of episodes. You can nitpick and cherry pick all the different things that happened and find like 5 or 6. It's this, I don't know if are you familiar with Nostradamus?
No.
Okay, Nostradamus is a 15th century philosopher / prophet who predicted crazy things about the future. And people go back and they look at his writings and they're like, man, he said this. None of his things are like direct. It's like all the countries in the world will fight in an area called Hitler, and they're like, that's Hitler. And it's like, well, that's not what he said. He said in a place called Hitler, which, if you know anything about the ancient world, like the Haitians, Hessians, those were people. I think he was talking about them. I don't think he was talking about a guy named Adolf Hitler. So again, this is part of the conspiracy theory where people are like, well, this, but no, never mind that. You know, when you start throwing facts out the window to make your point, or you ignore major discrepancies in evidence in order to support a conspiracy theory, that's what it is. It's a conspiracy theory. You're connecting 3 dots and you're ignoring 7 dots. You can't do that. You still need to have all 10. And all 10 should weave some sort of a conspiracy if there is one. But 1 or 2 pieces of evidence, that won't do. Listen, it wouldn't do it with Trump in the Russia investigation. I mean, look, there was plenty of evidence. There wasn't. And here's the funny thing, Victoria. People literally were looking for like Trump and Putin, like collusion. Like that didn't exist. You had everything but that, including a special counsel who, I'll repeat for the 8 millionth time on this show, said, if I said Donald Trump was innocent, I would have said that. I don't know what else people needed to hear about that.
They didn't say that about Hillary Clinton. That's not what they said.
Does this program accept alternative facts? No, not as actual information. Will we accept them? Sure. We'll entertain the alternative facts. Well, my personal favorite, Sketchy Peasant, who often chimes in from the YouTubes, which we appreciate very much.
Yep.
The Bowling Green Massacre is my favorite fake terrorist attack that ever happened in the United States of America. And I will never forget.
What is that?
Bowling Green.
For those
that was
who are unfamiliar.
Terrorist attack that Kellyanne Conway made up shortly after taking office. It was part of her defense of the because again, 4 years ago this week, we were talking about crowd size and how big the crowd size was. You'll recall that that doof, Sean Spicer, with this is the biggest crowd we've ever seen. No questions to be asked. And you're like, oh my God, is this guy
calm down?
And over the course of the next few days, Kellyanne Conway coined the phrase alternative facts. And then a couple months later alluded to a terrorist attack that happened in Bowling Green, Kentucky. Look it up. I mean, there just wasn't one there, and no one knows what the hell she was talking about. It's alternative facts. So, look, I sort of tease this at the beginning, Victoria, and I got to get to it because I've already alluded to some of it. I might as well just start.
You got me good. I'm not gonna lie.
I might as well start knocking some of this off. I want to be clear for the record. I said this a million times to anybody listening. I've been a Republican my entire life. Donald Trump was just not going to cut it. Nor was the anti-American platform that the Republican Party was pushing. I'm a card-carrying member. I just got an email today. They're gonna
hand to chest.
Listen, yeah, I got an email today. They want to like revoke my card because I haven't paid any money in the entire Trump administration.
Boy, you was paying for that card?
Oh yeah, I was a card-carrying member, happy to donate to my party. Who wouldn't? Why wouldn't you donate to your party? I donate to like 5 charities a month. That's what we do in my house. We try to give back. All right, so let's get. I don't want to make this about me because I'm not trying to be here, but I'm telling you, I've given the Republicans every chance to step up and be heroes. They failed. I'll attack Joe Biden when he does stuff wrong, but here's where we're at so far. I mentioned about the Keystone Pipeline, which does not exist. Does not exist. I'm going to tell you, you know why you're paying $2.50 a gallon for gas right now? It has nothing to do with Donald Trump. It has nothing to do with Joe Biden. The pipeline's not built, so that's not doing it, people. Iran and Saudi Arabia are in a pissing match. Saudi Arabia has an infinite amount of oil. Iran doesn't. Saudi Arabia increased its production of oil so that the price would drop because they don't want Iran to be able to make as much money selling oil right now. So they're tanking the price until Iran runs out, and then they'll jack the price back up. I don't know who will be the president when that happens, but you'll see $5 a gallon once again.
Oh, yeah.
Joe, thank you for being a true patriot and voting Democrat. We embrace you with open arms. We are the critical thinking party. Republicans are always on the wrong side of history. Yeah, it's unfortunate. And I just didn't want to be that. You know, I tried to hold firm for as long as I could. You know, I say in 2012, I did vote for Mitt Romney. The racism was getting a little like, oh my God, I can't keep doing this. And then Trump, like I said, walked off the escalator talking about Mexicans. And I was like, peace, I'm out. We're done here. We're not even, no more dog whistles. We're just saying it now. Okay. So no Keystone Pipeline. That's just not true. So in eliminating and taking the permit away from the Keystone Pipeline, the headline for right-wing media was Joe Biden eliminated 11,000 jobs. There's 11,000 Americans without jobs. Problem is, it's not true. We don't even know if it was going to be 11,000 jobs. That's what was projected.
Right, like they were never employed.
Pipeline was never built.
Figuratively.
It's a big, open, empty space of Indian land. It's not even ours to drill on.
Right. So if we figuratively, in another life, give us maybe a couple more years, if we by chance did this, then you'd be at 11,000 jobs. And you should be pretty fucking pissed about it.
11,000 hypothetical jobs. He's going to push
for hypothetical people. Like
he's going to push people into jobs like solar paneling, where we should be putting our resources. We should be developing new technology. That's where we should be investing, not coal.
Seriously, not like just destroying other people's land that like we just totally don't even own. But
now,
like
there was you may have heard there was a BLM Antifa riot.
Oh, I didn't. I must have missed that.
I guess on the day, it didn't get a whole lot of play. Reason being, it got busted up quick. 8 people got arrested. End of story. On the right, how come the president didn't condemn this attack?
How come?
Well, because it was small. It wasn't in a Capitol building. Everybody got arrested and put in jail.
Seriously.
And so here's the thing, people, and this is going to take some getting used to, I'm afraid, that every time the president busts somebody with law enforcement, he's not going to go on Twitter and brag about it. I know that's going to be weird. It's going to be weird. It's going to be really hard to not have the president. I don't know if people know this too. Did you know president isn't just a position? It's a job. It's literally shit you're supposed to be doing like 12 hours a day. You can sleep and go to, but you're like, it's a job. You're not supposed to just be on Twitter like, oh man, Fox News. That's not what the job is.
Most people would actually say that makes you not very credible, but it's okay.
This comment really doesn't have anything to do with what I'm saying, but it's I posted on Facebook the other day if anybody could think of any oldies but goodies, just things Trump did that we forgot about. And yes, sketchy peasant windmills will always make me laugh. Donald Trump thinks windmills cause cancer and also kills birds.
Yeah, duh. I mean,
says the guy.
Is he wrong?
Says the guy who built a golf course that actually put a species into its extinction. No kidding, a species of bird. So this is the reason why the president isn't just going to be condemning. Also, so people understand that the Antifa BLM rally was literally against the Democratic Party. They were protesting. I'll say this again. Antifa and BLM were protesting the Democrats.
Which happens
Do you know why?
Than you would think.
Do you know why?
You would tell me why.
They're not members of the Democratic Party. They're a different group. Again, if
not
Ben
everybody,
Shapiro
but those
or
people.
Sean Hannity tells you they're all in cahoots and I've got all the evidence, he's lying. He's lying. That's the other thing. I think people on the right especially need to understand. Fox News is extremely dishonest in what it presents as news and facts. It's a problem. something should be done about it. But you have to understand, too, that Fox Entertainment is categorized as just that.
Yeah.
It's entertainment.
And they don't really owe you anything. Like, they don't have to put anything that's of any grandeur on the TV. They don't have to tell you anything useful. They're not legally obligated to do any of that.
Actually, there was a time when you legally had to.
Maybe back then.
And a president I voted for, George W. Bush, changed the law. So
no good. Not looking good.
But see, again, people, this is why I say to my Republican friends, be careful what you wish for. When you invoke the nuclear option on Supreme Court justices, and now the Democrats have a 51-50 majority, you don't think you're going to do the same thing? This is the short-sightedness of Mitch McConnell and the Republican Party of the last 12 years. Is every power grab they had, every chance they had to obstruct, that's what they did. And now they find themselves in this same exact position, Victoria. And they're going to sit back and bitch and complain. But this is what I've been saying this literally for the last 12 years, that the Republicans are blowing it left, right, and sideways. And other Republicans are like, no, they're not. They're liberal.
We're doing great.
No. For me, this isn't about liberals. This isn't about the Democratic Party. I've had this conversation with so many of my Republican friends. I'm like, I still want to be a Republican. I'd like to be. The current state of the party is trash. It's trash, and it needs to be fixed. And I hope they fix it. I'll vote Democrat in every election going forward if I have to. I'll stay in my party because I want my party to know how displeased I am with them. I want that they see the statistical breakdown of where Democrats and Republicans voted in their election. So if I'm the only one, I want them to see that one vote in town constantly going to the other side. I think it's good for them. The last bit of misinformation is that Joe Biden overturned Trump's ban on transgenders serving in the military. Now, there's actually already two very different right-wing talking points. The first is that the ban was actually imposed by Obama, which isn't true. Obama changed the rule that had been put into effect, I think, under Bill Clinton. So again, unfairly being attributed to Obama, which the tie being, if you tie it to Obama now, Victoria, you understand you're tying it to Biden directly as well.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So you're going to see a lot more, even though he's now 2 presidents ago, you're going to see a lot more of the Republicans constantly going and attacking what was happening for, under Obama as being tied to Joe Biden
for the past 4 years anyways.
Donald Trump overruled what the Pentagon had determined in a study, which Obama had ordered, and found that our soldiers don't really give a shit if you're transgender or not. They don't have any problem. If you could do the job, they really don't care, man or woman or
especially considering that we at the time too, both male and female could enlist. Like, this would almost be more understandable if it was back in the day where only men could serve. It would be like, okay, like, I guess I get where you're coming from a little bit more. But if both female and male can serve, then what is the issue? And I'll tell you what the issue is. People are saying that this is a deemed mental illness that they cannot serve by. Like, this is going to impede on their ability to serve. And I don't think that I could speak on that much, because I do know that you do go through physical changes when you are in whatever, but I do not think that would have on your ability to serve the country. But once again, I don't know. I have no experience with that. I just don't think that anybody in the government really does either. Anyways.
Trump was playing to his base with that ban.
Absolutely. Same thing with the abortion thing.
Again, I mean, right. I think anybody who's paying attention is aware of what that was. I'm going to take a little issue with this comment. Republicans are the party for the wealthy and corporations. Yes, they are. Democrats care for the working class. I don't know if I would use the phrase care. And here's why I say this. Look, both of these parties are emboldened and or beholden rather to the same corporate interests. I mean, plain and simple. But as long as the Democrats are the ones who are for civil rights and for supporting the working and middle class, they got my vote. I don't know if it's a matter of caring because, I said this a couple weeks ago. I mean, $2,000. That's nice that the Democrats think that magically will cure people's problems. I mean, it's better than the 600. I mean, the Republicans are trash for that, for not even wanting to give you $1, reluctantly agreeing to 600. But for Democrats to think, I mean, again, that doesn't pay my mortgage. That doesn't even come close.
Well,
yeah. I mean, I've lost a lot of money by not being able to work like I worked before the pandemic. I'm doing it for the greater good. I get it. $2,000 falls way short for me. Mm-hmm. And I think it does for the majority of people in this country. And I think that's a real shame. I mean, to his credit, most of the bill he just signed is going to direct payments, which is solid. That's where it should be going. I agree with people who were like, I don't know if the Smithsonian needs like $100 million right now. I support the arts. I get it. But can they do it with like $5 million right now? We'll get them more later.
Like that kind of I'm trying to get a vaccine.
I understand where people are outraged by that stuff. That's ridiculous, or giving millions in foreign aid. What is that for? Is now the time to be doing that? Like, can we see get some money from China on credit? We'll give you some later on down the road. We shouldn't be stretching our resources thin at a time where should be buckling down.
Yeah.
But taking care of the people.
Mm-hmm. I want to end the show off tonight by talking about somebody who was not taken care of by Donald Trump, Mr. Joe Exotic. So if you haven't been on Twitter, then you probably haven't seen. So I'm going to read it for you. Joe Exotic has tweeted, "I was too innocent and too gay to deserve a pardon from Trump. I only mattered to Don Jr. when he needed to make a comment about me to boost his social media post. Boy, were we all stupid to believe he actually stood for equal justice. His corrupt friends all come first." Tiger picture.
Bro, when the Tiger King gets it, and you still don't, you gotta really look in the mirror, dude. That's bad. I agree. We could have supplemented 80% of people's incomes like other countries did, but we gave enormous tax breaks. Imagine if we had the tax rates in the 50s and 60s. Now, yeah, again, Dwight Eisenhower built our infrastructure and our highway system with a 70 to 90% effective tax rate on millionaires. A Republican did that. A Republican had the greatest socialist idea ever and built an entire highway system. God.
Oh, Joe.
I mean, look, this idea that we got to be super tight. Like, being super tight doesn't make you conservative with your money. Like I have a financial planner, Victoria, and she invests my money for me. Okay. There's two ways she can go. She can go in like the volatile stocks that they jump up and down. And she's like, Joe, you made $50,000 today. And then tomorrow she's like, now you owe me $35,000 and all your money's gone. And then next week I'm up 80 grand. I mean, it's that. I have conservative investments. She invests my money in Microsoft and Coca-Cola and Walmart and places that are never going to go out of business. It's a conservative plan. Do you understand? We still spend the money We just don't take risks. Somewhere along the way, the idea that being a fiscal conservative means no money for anybody, like, nope. That's not what conservative spending means. It means spending it smartly and responsibly.
I think that the issue is that just not everybody has the option to be able to do something like that.
Not for nothing, but when Joe Exotic ran as a Republican candidate for governor of Oklahoma, I mean, seriously, like, is this the party people want to be associated with, where any dumb clown would just show up and, you know what I mean? It just any rando shows up and that's what you get. That's not good. That's not good. But sad for Joe Exotic, because he is an American icon, and I would have thought,
rather than
the showing he is. Oh, dude, I would have taken him over Steve Bannon. Joe Exotic.
Oh, yeah. He was also really
Carol Baskin had it coming, as far as I can see.
I think that we can all agree that Joe Exotic needs some mental help, and hopefully he can get that. But I do not think that Trump is going to be the one that is going to provide that for him or anybody.
It's sad.
Laura, you missed our segment of us our entire segment of us talking about Joe Biden's policies.
Yeah, look, so far Joe Biden has, here's what he signed executive orders on: getting COVID vaccines out faster, getting more money in the American people's pockets. That's it so far. That's what I've seen.
And 100 days with masks.
Yeah, I have no problems with that. And 100 days of wearing masks. Listen, as soon as Joe Biden starts screwing up, Laura, I'll be with you. We'll be tearing this guy to shreds. Again, the misinformation of he abolished women's sports. Do you really think that there are dudes right now that are like, I'm gonna go become a transgender person because I want to be really good at cross-country running in high school? I mean, that's an absurd thought to have. People that are transgender, I mean,
right. And the policy is not as cut and dry as everybody is making it seem. Like, we're going to have two categories and it's going to completely impede on the Olympics. And that's the thing, too. If we're really having this issue, because this is such a big thing in this country, you really don't think that there's going to be a subsector of the Olympics where there is trans people competing? I
am okay with the gender issue. I have a relative who is a guy who's transitioning into a girl. And it makes all the sense in the world as far as I can see. He's not competing in any sports and certainly won't be abolishing anything women are doing. But to think that men are going to start changing their sex to be good at women's sports is absurd. Again, if these are the arguments that we're making right now, I think we're stretching. I understand that we don't like Joe Biden. I really get it. No one is. Here's the difference between Joe Biden and Donald Trump, and this is why I voted for him, and I appreciate the sensibility of Democrats, independents, and Republicans who are dealing in reality. I mean, the guy's been in office for 4 days. He hasn't done anything crazy yet. Pace yourselves. Yes, 20 executive orders in 3 days. Carlos, the reason for that is Mitch McConnell. This was the best situation the Republicans could have had. We're offered a split government, 9-9 on committees, no filibusters. McConnell said no. Why did McConnell say no? He was offered a power-sharing government. No Democratic agenda because committees would have been 9-9. He passed on it. Once again, Mitch McConnell is holding things up.
Because it directly benefits him. Only him. You
can be a Republican. You can't be okay with that. You can't be. People need help. People need help right now. Mitch McConnell's been sitting on his ass since May.
Right. And
You can't be okay with that.
Everybody's right now throwing a hissy fit about the $15 minimum wage all of a sudden, even though that's not even going to be put into action until 2023. That's not going to be a law that has to be put into place. And everybody's saying that that's the reason why small businesses are going out, is because the $15 minimum wage and this and that and the third. First of all, it's not even put into place yet. And second of all, if you are a small business and you cannot afford to pay your employees a livable wage, then your product is obviously not good enough for you to remain in business. Also, it put that on. Sorry that you guys are not getting a big enough stimulus package, but that is not because of a $15 minimum wage. Put that on the government. Put that on the people who are supposed to help you through this pandemic. Yeah.
This is why we needed Bernie. This is why you needed Bernie.
Seriously, Bernie would have let you keep your guns. You could have been smoking weed with it all in your car.
Guns and cannabis would have been like top of the agenda.
Guns and cannabis.
Schumer said he was okay with a filibuster. No, he said no filibuster. We do power sharing, 9-9. So you have to get bipartisan support for anything to leave committee. A perfect situation for Republicans, who obviously now are in the minority in both houses. They were offered an equal power sharing government. Why would they say no to that?
I think we know at this point.
Yes, you could criticize his policies, but you got to know what they are first, and you don't. If you think it's socialism, you're dead wrong. I've looked it up. Trust me, I was very concerned about it. No socialism to speak of. This guy is as conservative as Donald Trump is. Whatever the hell that means.
Honestly, if not more, let's be completely honest. But anyways, thank you so much for watching Divided We Stand. Hopefully by next week, I hate that we have to say this every week, but like hopefully we'll have a country next week. Hopefully there's no more of this. And I'm excited to hit you with the update. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.